People around here trust the shepherds. Jamie, Adam, and the other Jamie. They always have. The sheep trust them too. Gather round. I'll throw another log on the fire. Turn it up just a touch, because another episode of the BHHcast is starting now.
Brand new episode of the BHHcast starting now. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hernan, Adam Haig. Our guest with us this episode, very talented comedian Josh Sneed. Josh, welcome to the BHHcast.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me.
You been all right?
I've been great. I've been very blessed through this crazy times, but I am ready to get back on the road. You know how it is with comics. Like we live out there. So
you got to get out.
It was at the point where when the first offer came in to get on the road, I was like, yeah, I'll be there. And they hadn't even told me what the date was. I was like, I don't care. I'll be there. And they were like, well, let's talk money. And I was like, I'll give you $500 if you just let me come spend the night in a hotel room by myself for a few days.
There you go. Like you're doing the Elks Club in middle of nowhere, Canada.
Doesn't
you're like,
matter.
yep, in.
I'm in.
Done.
Take it. All right, so format of the show, Josh, very easy. We're going to ask some lightning round style questions. We always like to give a tester question just to familiarize with the process so that the guest can get acclimated. Would you prefer clockwise or counterclockwise?
What's today? Monday?
We are recording this on a Monday evening.
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Starting.
What days do you go counter?
It's the dumbest game that I play. And my friend Patrick Keene, very funny comedian, he thinks it's hilarious. And if he thought it was hilarious, I felt like I had to do it. So anytime I'm presented with a question in public, I ask what day it is, as though. So like if you're at a restaurant and they're like, what kind of dressing do you want with your salad? Just be like, what's today? Monday? Ranch. And then just to watch their face for half a second where they're like, why would it matter?
Much like I walked
Monday
into it,
ranch day. Yeah, it's so fun. It's so dumb, but it's so fun.
Adam, what does it feel like being in Josh's trap?
It feels good. It feels good. I feel like it was fun.
I'm gonna next time I get stopped for a speeding ticket, he says, "Do you know why I stopped you?" I'll be like, "What day is today?"
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, clockwise, starting with Jamie.
Which internal organ is likely the biggest jerk?
Liver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we elaborate or come back?
No.
I think that just makes sense.
Yeah. Liver.
When it makes sense on its own, you just leave it.
Yeah.
Liver makes sense.
All right, Josh, I have very sad news. Yesterday, you died.
Oof.
Who are two of your pallbearers?
Oh my gosh. I would say my best friend and business partner and my cousin.
I like how he didn't say names because he left it open
right?
for people to interpret. Like, hey, Josh, you were talking about me, right? Yeah, of course.
He's
You're
got
my
six
best friend.
cousins, and they're all like,
Wait,
"I
what's
got it."
today? Monday?
Hey, so listen,
Yes.
I'll be your pallbearer, but can I get a +1?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we do it?
On the pallbearing?
On the pallbearing? Is the pallbearing kind of a +1 deal?
You know, it's so funny that you bring that up because I literally yesterday wrote a joke, a premise of a joke of like referring to groomsmen as pallbearers. Like I somehow want to correlate that, like, because I was at a wedding on Saturday and it was like, are they groomsmen or are they pallbearers? They assisting him in his metaphorical.
There should be 6. There should always be 6 groomsmen, right?
Yeah,
Who are
There's six
carrying him
pallbearers.
down the aisle, laying down flat as they're holding on to him in a stretcher?
That would be hilarious if that was.
I had so many jokes go through my head sitting there at that wedding. I was thinking of Lord of the Rings. I was like, maybe Lord of the Rings is actually about marriage, and as soon as you put the ring on, you're invisible to every woman.
How pissed would your fiance be if you blew that idea to her? You're like, I'm thinking maybe for the wedding. I get that you're going to do your thing, but let's have me come in basically a coffin, right? I'll come in a coffin. Are you cool with that?
Yeah. This wedding is open casket, right?
Yeah.
We're doing an open casket wedding?
People are looking at Josh, they're thinking, wow, he's so emotionally moved by this wedding that he's journaling. He's sitting there writing down jokes. Be careful, though, Josh. If you decide to make Jamie one of your pallbearers, he does have a rider.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm launching a freelance pallbearing business. So if you only had like 5 guys.
It's like Uber.
Yeah.
For
Oh, I
pallbearers.
love it.
Right.
I love it. You know, I had an idea. Yes. Are we allowed to go off on tangents on this?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
are we going
You're
straight
fine.
through questions? I posted a tweet yesterday that I think is a good business idea. We have a cleaning lady that comes here twice a month, and she was coming today. And I realized what we really need is a straightening up lady who comes the day before the cleaning lady to straighten up for the cleaning lady.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the pre-clean.
Yeah.
It's like the soak of house cleaning.
Right. If the cleaning lady is going to cause that much stress in your house, that is, I'm sure your wife and my wife could go through the same thing, then what is the point? Right.
As soon as it's done getting straightened up, I'm like, why are we paying a cleaning lady?
This place looks great.
Yeah.
So I actually, so Kelly and I go through this every time when we're in a hotel room because Kelly is a room straightener before we go check out.
At the hotel.
Before check out?
Makes the bed.
Straightens, tidies up, puts
Oh
the
my
thing
God.
and whatever. And I am absolutely against that because the only way I know for the next guest that they're actually going to clean up the room is to leave it a mess.
Right.
Like a semi-straightened room, they may just gloss
You're
in.
paying it forward by being.
I'm paying it forward. I
But
feel like
imagine the maids kind of roll into your room and they're like, actually, I think this one's kind of good.
I
They
think
just
this is
roll
okay.
out,
Yeah,
right?
they just
It's
tuck
like,
the
I think-
sheets back in
I think
and-
I can get another one on the clock.
Yeah.
Right?
We put everything in the tub, including the coffee maker. Like we literally strip the beds, everything, throw it in the tub. Right. So that
You don't
we give them
really
a
do
centralized. Of course we do.
You don't really do that.
Of course I do.
No, I'm not sure even if you're joking.
No,
right
yeah, no, that's
Do you really do that?
a terrible thing.
You don't put all the sheets and everything in the tub. It says there's literally instructions on the wall that says put the sheets in the tub.
I usually throw the towels and washcloths in the tub, but not the sheets.
I'm not sure if what I think is
actually- so
weird.
we were in a hotel.
Do you put the sheets in the tub, or that you're reading the stuff on the wall in the hotel room?
No.
Do you not follow directions?
Okay.
No, I never
so-
look at that stuff. So we've had a couple discussions on the show, and I think, Josh, you seem like the kind of guy who would know the answer to this one. Actually, now that I say that, that sounds really judgmental with my question, so I'm going to retract. But if you were in a prison cell, so this is going to be a long stay.
Wow.
Okay.
In a prison cell, are you taking the top or the bottom bunk if you get the choice?
I think I go top.
Yeah, that's actually
I think
right.
I go top because, if you're below, then everything above you is amplified. People have to climb over you to get to the top. I'd rather just get up there, stay up there, mind my business.
That's actually the right answer. Go ahead, Jan.
So Mark Twain is quoted as saying, "When the end of the world comes, I want to be in Cincinnati because it's always 20 years behind the times."
Yep.
What was it like last month for everyone in Cincinnati to find out about 9/11?
Oh, that's great. That quote is like, I never know if, whenever I hear that quote, I never know if it's a compliment or they're making fun of us, like legitimately. Like if he just meant it's like a slower pace and,
Right. Or if you're just a backward
probably the prior I'm sure he's making fun of us because we do seem to be behind. But you know what? When it comes to infrastructure for a city, I kind of like it because with all these different things cities are trying, we have a long time to see how they pan out before they make the decision on whether or not to do it in Cincinnati.
Yeah, not the early adapters.
So we're all the guinea pigs for you in
Right.
Cincinnati.
That's 100%.
That's right.
All right, Josh, if given the choice, would you prefer to have a celebrity groomsman or a celebrity pallbearer? And if so, who would it be?
It's a Nick Swardson joke, but it's always made me laugh. He said that when he dies, he wanted to hire John Stamos to just show up at his funeral and shed one tear over the casket and leave, so that all of his friends and family would be like, I didn't know he knew John Stamos. And I feel like there's something funny about like not being around to tell people the backstory of it and just letting everybody wonder, like, how did we not know that they were friends?
Yeah.
Whereas like if they're at your wedding and it's a celebrity, everyone's attention is now instantly on them for your day.
That's right.
I do like the idea of John Stamos reaching in and holding his hand and maybe giving a little kiss on the forehead and then leaving. I mean,
Yeah, and then
stories-
leave immediately and don't say a word to anybody.
Right.
With so many animals looking good in hats, what animal would not look good in a hat?
I'm gonna say a rooster.
I actually have rooster
It's just
written down.
it's not gonna fit
Rooster. That's great.
unless it's a glove, right? Or they use a glove for a hat.
That's a nice one, like the front of those latex ones.
So that's going to wrap for the first segment here of this episode with comedian Josh Sneed. We'll be back with more of the podcast right after this.
Is there an Olympic sport that you would have liked your children to get involved in?
I was almost an Olympian.
Oh, you are?
Oh, wow.
I was.
Which sport?
Family friend when I was a child was well connected with the Olympics in Lake Placid, New York.
Okay.
And said to my father, we should be teaching these kids how to play handball because they could be Olympians in the sport of handball.
Because he saw your talent?
Because there was almost no U.S. national handball development structure.
So I guess by the same logic, I almost was an Olympian.
I was actively recruited to be a young handballist.
Right, and Adam was one contact
Because we
away.
had no one.
Because at the time, there was...
Almost no one.
There was nobody.
Did you
So
take
we could
offense
start...
to that? That they looked at you and they said, all right.
You know, this kid could be an Olympian at a sport we have no one.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We've set the bar at 0.
That's right.
Congratulations.
And it almost came to pass.
Well.
So there was no luge path,
No, medal's a medal,
right?
baby.
No ski jumping.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, you were not an Olympian.
Not an Olympian,
So you were
but
outpaced
super close.
So
by the
close.
other 2 or 3 people.
You didn't follow your quest to be a handball player, did
No.
you? Yeah. Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
Did you not make the team?
No, there was no, it wasn't,
This
but
is
it
a-
was so close.
This is a sliding doors moment.
It was
if there
so
ever
close.
was
My
one.
life could have been
And
completely
you're like,
different. I could be like silver medalist.
I worry that we would have never met.
Perhaps in two different Olympics. We
Could you
likely
imagine-
would have met.
Could you imagine the sheep?
You know
how
what's
sad their lives
unfortunate
would
about
be?
this, and I hate to say it this way
Yeah.
because it sounds overly negative.
Yes.
I hate the ads for the big box retailers or the large
Where's this going?
or the delivery services that come out in the Olympics, and they're like, we support Olympic
okay,
athletes because they work in
our
the
stores, yeah.
in the lumber department.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sucks that our Olympic athletes,
Have to work in
they're
the
winning
Olympic
gold medals, and they have some Yahoo coming in on a Saturday and being like, yeah, great story about the Olympics. Where are the 4x8s?
It's true.
Could you maybe donate the $300 that you're paying them in their bi-weekly check
Right.
so they could actually focus on their sport and
Yeah.
win for the country?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get to skating practice. Okay,
Right.
could you pick out a tile, please?
Yeah.
All right, second segment here of the podcast. We go a little in depth on some of the answers we got there to the first lightning round question. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hearn, and Adam Haig. Comedian Josh Sneed is our guest this episode. Who would like to start with a follow-up?
I'd like to dig into the prison bed bunk a little bit, right? So the funny thing
So we're
is,
just going to bypass 9/11 altogether?
yeah, that's good. So the prison bunk thing, though, is Jamie seems to think, and I think you're right, by the way, on the top bunk, that's been a general concern. Jamie seems to think that the bottom bunk offers you like a cave where it's your own, like you get like an experience down
fort?
there or your own
Like a
environment.
fort?
Yeah, your cell within a cell.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever say that you're building a fort in jail. That is not going to go well with your fellow cellmates.
I think it does, actually. You're a creative guy. You're fun to be around. So, Josh, what do you think about Jamie's cave fort theory on the... I think you're right that, one, the bed gives us a level of protection on the top bunk. We have probably more room, top bunk to ceiling, than the
Did
guy...
we not learn anything from episode 3 of Star Wars? If you have the high ground, you win.
Always.
That's right. For some reason, Adam has the perspective that jail cells have vaulted ceilings.
Yeah. You should see some of the prisons I've been in. They're beautiful.
Warden, there is no coffered ceilings here, as I was told there would be.
Oh, look, judges paneling.
Anything else you guys want to dig into?
I mean, I kept saying 9/11, but we're going to just...
No, go ahead. We can talk about that.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay, so then the rooster on the hat. I think you're right. The question becomes: the rooster would look incredibly funny with that latex glove, like a Howie Mandel type thing,
Yeah.
right? Well, when I wrote the question, I was wondering, should I delete aquatic animals off the bat for the hat? But I think there are a lot of aquatic animals that would look incredible in hats.
I agree. I feel like a manatee with like a little bowler's hat, like a tiny,
right.
like a gentleman.
Peaky Blinders kind of,
Yeah.
like a chapeau.
A chapeau.
So, Josh, notwithstanding what was the actual, you kind of dodged who your celebrity.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to say who was it. It could be anybody.
It's your funeral.
Well, that depends. Do you have a budget for your funeral?
I'd have to go Lorne Michaels
How cool would that be?
because I don't feel like he goes to anybody's funeral.
Right.
And if he showed up at mine,
And was a pallbearer.
it was just that. Yeah, it was just that vibe of like I've regretted since the day I didn't cast him.
Okay, so now let's embrace the hypothetical. Is there a comedian friend who you know would love to be on Saturday Night Live, who you could put opposite your casket from Lorne Michael?
Like they would take advantage of the opportunity
Make the pitch.
to be across from them.
Yeah.
Here's my promo reel.
That's a great one. I'd say Chad Daniels
Okay.
could be sly enough to do it,
pull that off,
and be charming enough that it doesn't feel like he's auditioning.
There you go.
There's everyone thinks there's a video coming on the screen that's going to be the life of Josh, but instead it's Chad Daniels doing
His three best impressions.
three best impressions, right?
Yeah.
So I think we've got a lot of pallbearers there, right? You've got nameless best friend, you've got nameless cousin, you've got Lauren, and you've got
That's 4 of 6.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
We're almost home.
There's 6 guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I sort of have like kind of like 3 best friends that all represent different phases of my life. You know, it was a pain in the ass to pick a best man at my wedding because of that. But there, you know, I had my childhood best friend, I was single, younger me best friend. And then I have my now business partner of 16 years best friend.
So now that we're creating analogies between the 2 events, it is one of the benefits of the pallbearing is that everybody's on equal footing. There is no best man,
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right.
right? There's no like captain of the pallbearers.
Right.
Right.
Or why didn't I get to be
Why am I not at the front of I don't want to carry feet. I want to carry head,
everybody's equal?
right?
Although if there were enough comedian pallbearers and Lorne Michaels was there could be a fight over who gets, you know, eye contact position.
I'm picturing Lorne Michaels being there and guys doing the eulogy and getting the light to get off stage.
Yeah.
Run your time.
And then I'd have to have a musical guest at that point.
Yeah, obviously. Right.
Which musical guest would play your funeral?
We're really doing a lot of funeral planning for you today, Josh.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the most epic
if you're
funeral
ready, we can write
ever.
your will up
Yeah,
right
but
now.
if you think about it, yeah.
I think I would choose John Legend to play my funeral.
Very cool. That'd be a quality play.
Nice piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Legend or Alicia Keys. Those would be my top
really
two
belting
choices,
it out.
I think.
Yeah. I love the John Stamos just walking in, dropping a tear on the casket, and then, you know, exiting, and everyone and no one can answer it. I love that concept. I think
Such
though
a funny premise.
at my funeral, I'm thinking
But
I
at
would
that
love
rate-
the idea of like the Giselle Bundchen of the day. Right?
Oh, like a
in,
supermodel.
yeah, whatever like the top
that's
supermodel
good.
is, she comes that everyone knows and recognizes. She walks in, does a runway walk basically down the line, just loses it on the coffin, and then walks out. And the great part is, like, I wouldn't even tell my wife. Like, I would love my wife to be like,
Well,
what
you know,
the
here's-
hell?
Drops
Here's
a
the thing,
drops a pair
because
of
you'd also
boxers back in the coffin.
Right.
Like, here, you forgot these.
And she has no idea, and she has no idea how to contact Giselle Bundchen either, right? So she's just like, what just happened?
I like the idea of you having like 10 to 12 children walking in and just saying goodbye, Dad, and then walking out.
If you could prank, that would be hilarious if you did. Well, so if you did it for your own, but it would be great if you could actually pull that off for a buddy, right? Where you just did it to just ball bust and ruin a buddy's
Goodbye, Dad.
funeral.
All these kids walk
Yeah.
over, they're like, bye, Dad.
Right.
I love you, Dad.
Coming together.
Yeah.
Come on, kids.
Oh my gosh, how funny would that be? You pay your buddy's wife to like be the saddest person in the room. And then just for the rest of his life, he's like,
Why is she so upset?
so upset? I don't understand.
why couldn't it have been you? There was another comedian from Minneapolis who said he wanted someone to come into his funeral and just say, checkmate, and then leave.
All right, that's going to do it for this segment of the podcast. We are going to be back with more of comedian Josh Sneed next lightning round. Follow us next.
So, what kind of T-shirts do you guys have?
What kind of t-shirts? do you
Yeah,
have?
so like, is your T-shirt collection at your home? Does it fall into a certain brand? I think I have destination T-shirts or experience T-shirts. Like I like to
what
get.
causes you to get t-shirts?
Yeah, I get
got
T-shirts based on experiences, and if I look through my T-shirt collection, most of them are based on life experiences.
Actually, based on what age you are, we usually dictate that answer. So if you are a college student,
Yeah.
it is usually the free T-shirts that you catch
At a party.
at well, You go to parties where they throw out free T-shirts?
Yeah, we used to.
Okay, well, you had some good parties.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I only went to the good ones. If you didn't have a T-shirt cannon, you weren't getting people coming out at American.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you guys don't rage at Georgia.
I'm going to pitch T-shirt cannon as the new way to select teams for youth sports. Anybody who can get a red T-shirt on the red team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Launch them. Just put all the kids that signed up for the league.
Just go.
I'm firing out 10 red T-shirts. Whoever gets a red T-shirt, that's the red team.
Please, let's go back to the guest.
All right, it is time for our final lightning round with comedian Josh Sneed, Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hearn, and Adam. Josh, would you prefer to stay the same direction or change your directional choice for this lightning round?
I like my game shows like I like my boy bands, One Direction.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Dang, that was so smooth.
I apologize to everyone that had to hear that.
That was awesome.
All right, starting with Jamie.
So, Josh, you decide to rob Queen City Square, the tallest building in Cincinnati. From amongst your comedian friends, who would you choose to be your accomplices in the following roles? The muscle, the code breaker, and the confidant that gets killed by the hostage that snuck away barefoot in the air vent.
They're all the same person, Jamie Lissow.
Okay.
Jamie, is that a good choice?
That is a good choice.
Dude went to law school. He's absolutely jacked, and he is super
Murderable.
put everyone else first, whatever he can.
I'll
to
take
help
the
his
shot.
Friends.
Awesome.
That might be a cop out, but that's like I was like, yeah, that would be Jamie. That would be Jamie.
I like that the first guy who came to mind.
Yeah, I'm picturing him saying, "Josh, did you not have a budget to maybe get like 2 or 3 other guys for our?"
I'm doing all this.
Then
lot
I
of
only have to-
responsibility
Then I
in
get
this
then I get
heist.
all the money, right? If
Right.
he goes down, I don't have to split it with the rest of the team that survived.
Yeah, I think he figures that out right as he's being killed.
That's right. Be careful being the Renaissance man on the bank heist.
You lean over his dying body. Checkmate.
All right. What common household chore do you hate doing?
Oh man, the worst
Yeah.
is unclogging drains. Is that a common household chore,
Oh.
or is that just like it only has to be done once in a while?
It depends
Yeah.
on your household.
Unclogging drains is one of the most disgusting things.
Well, I can't even think about it.
All right, one of Cincinnati's most famous residents is apparently Fiona the hippo.
Yeah,
And if you
Love
were
her.
elected mayor of Cincinnati, and I'm not positive that this is who gets to make this choice, but for which mascot or famous animal of another city would you trade Fiona?
oh man, if you're saying I have to pick one,
Yes, you have to trade Fiona.
Oh, she's demanding a trade.
I would take the best offer from San Diego Chicken or the Philly Fanatic. Those are my two favorite outside of Cincinnati mascots. I also like Gritty, the new Flyers mascot from the Philadelphia Flyers.
All right, follow-up question. I'm glad you said
Okay.
that. Gritty and Fiona are in a cage match to the death. Who wins?
Fiona wins. Fiona wins. No doubt about it. It's like the Mountain versus what's his name on Game of Thrones.
Right.
Like the one guy's like a little bit smarter, maybe a little more cunning, but you just can't beat the raw strength.
The power.
Fiona,
that is the hippo.
listen, Fiona, I
Yeah.
own this t-shirt company. Fiona changed my life. I'm
Oh.
not even joking when I say that. Her story of why she's so popular, she was born premature. They had never had a hippo live in captivity, born that premature, and they saved her, and they documented the whole thing on social media, and the story went viral literally across the world, but she needed 24-hour care. So the zoo let my t-shirt company create a t-shirt where we could donate proceeds to her fund. And we had set an initial goal of $10,000. And to this date, she's now 3.5. To this date, we've raised over $500,000 for Team Fiona.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
That is. It's incredible, especially since that you were donating half of 1% of all proceeds.
Exactly. So you
Right.
know.
So,
So basically, I can afford 6 celebrity pallbearers.
is that why? Yeah. And you're wearing a gold-plated sweatshirt.
And you know who
Is
one
that
of
what
them's
that
going to
is?
be? Fiona the hippo.
That's
I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to have Fiona.
coming in.
Fiona
It's
is going to
just
come
her.
in.
It's going to be on her back.
Yeah,
And they're
Fiona's going to
like,
come in and drop one solitary tear on your casket and walk back out. And be like, how did he get Fiona to come to his funeral?
How many residents of Cincinnati do you think have died because they were in the wild and encountered a hippo? And we're like, oh,
I love
probably
Fiona.
just like Fiona.
And this thing just like, and they're gone. All right, here's one. So what were you famous for at school?
Being funny. That was about it.
That's weird. And you chose that as a career?
I was like a prank. It wasn't like a stand-up comic though. It was like recreating like movie scenes just to get a laugh out of people.
All right, so I want to focus on a fact that I'm a little bit shocked by. So you mentioned earlier that you were 44.
Yep.
And you just mentioned that Billy Madison came out when you were 18.
Yeah,
Please don't tell me that we are approaching the 30th anniversary of the release of Billy Madison.
That's got to be close.
Honestly, do not put that in the podcast. Because I think if you feel like I do, half our listeners are going to kill themselves right now. It's just like, they basically, all we've talked about is funerals the entire episode. And now you're going to age us. Yeah.
Ooh. My Lord.
And now Sandler's like the second most powerful person in Hollywood, right? I mean, he just basically prints money.
It's got to be up there.
All right. Well, when he's ready to book us for his podcast, Adam, if you're listening.
That is literally the equivalent of being in a restaurant on a date with someone, as we are with Josh, and a girl walks in who you're like, excuse me, one
We're
moment.
actually with a comedian like Josh, and we're like, hey, Sandler, throw us some love.
The difference is I would probably be more excited than you guys were.
Okay, good.
This is
Hey, Adam,
amazing.
can you get Lorne Michaels to come to my funeral?
So
We got
listen, I have a weird favor to ask.
Yeah.
If you could. All right. Does somebody owe you a favor?
Yeah.
Do you feel that you will ever redeem it?
The person I'm thinking of, not a chance.
Oh,
All right. So you are in Shreveport, Louisiana,
Oh, God.
and you miss
The
your flight
stories.
one evening,
Yep.
and there are no flights out until the next afternoon at 1 p.m. So you spend all night in the airport lounge drinking and are blitzed at noon the following day when, without warning, the Star-Spangled Banner is blasted throughout the airport sound system. You decide to sing along. Could we hear what drunk Josh singing the national anthem might sound like?
All right. So I'll play along with this. But,
thank you.
But I've never been drunk.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be me doing an impersonation of a drunk person. Yeah. Can I?
That's amazing.
That's
that was
pretty good.
actually, that's almost
incredible. The nuance there of how you also were tired. You had been drinking all night.
tired.
And I always
Sleepy.
get so tired when I drink. And you're exactly right. I'm always
I-
so sleepy.
I feel like these are all just shoehorns to my act, but I wrote a joke
Oh.
in Shreveport, Louisiana at the airport when the national anthem came on.
I might have heard that. That was actually on the Unacceptable album, which is
I
available
believe it
now
was.
on Spotify and wherever you find your comedic albums.
That's a true story, though. I was sitting on the toilet dropping a deuce when the national anthem came on in the bathroom of Shreveport, and I was like, am I supposed to stand up, right? Like, I don't know.
All right. My last question.
Josh did point out
Yeah,
that he did
you're-
remove his
you're-
cap, though.
Okay, good.
I did take off my hat. That's right.
What is something that feels like a cult in everyday life?
Oh, my God. People with Yeti cups.
Excellent answer.
That's a great answer.
It's
Those guys-
just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like I refer to the Yeti cup as the brown paper bag for white middle class men. It's like, I know what's in there.
Right.
All right. You're not
You're
having
not
hot
hydrated.
chocolate in July.
You're not drinking coffee
Yeah.
at the soccer game.
I do wonder what drives people to put the Yeti sticker on their car.
Right. Or wear a t-shirt
Right.
unless you work for the company.
Right.
It's almost like you're saying, I can afford nicer cups than you.
If I see a Yeti sticker on the car, I don't even bother looking at the rest of the stickers. I know there's a 26.2 sticker on there somewhere. What other stickers are on that
Oh,
car?
I hate those.
That's a
guys.
great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other stickers?
I guarantee you there might be an REI sticker on there, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the sticker heckle. So, like, there are the 26.2s. So I don't combat a 26.2 with a 0.0.
I love the 0.0.
I think you don't appreciate that.
No, I think that's
You think the 0.0 guy is lamer than the 26?
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The 0.0 guy is a guy I'm going to spend time with at an airport lounge, but the
Getting
26
hammered
guy,
at
I'm
noon?
not interested.
No, because you're allowing I view it as the opposite. You're allowing the 26.2er to have an impact on your life to the point at which you're now putting a response sticker on your car.
Okay.
If I wanted to be accurate, I would put like a 1.3 sticker on the car. I think that's about what I could get is 1.3 miles.
solid. That's
And
solid.
then, yeah.
In counterpoint to that, Jamie, one of the funniest bumper stickers that I ever saw was "My kid beat up your honor student."
Yeah. One of the very first jokes I ever wrote I was in college, and I'd say, my brother was not as good a student as I was in school. He was a yes, your honor student.
It's a great joke.
Yeah. It was one of the very first jokes I ever wrote. Yeah, it's very funny.
That's a great joke. I will say on that vehicle is also a 3-letter acronym for some ritzy vacation spot.
Oh, that's right. Like OBX for Outer
Hilton
Banks.
Head
or- yeah.
Island, and double HI.
So I'm about to make a disclosure here that let's just keep it between us and the sheep.
Uh-oh.
I have a friend who recently, or a couple, let's say 5 years ago, bought a house at the Outer Banks. And every year he's nice enough to invite his college buddies to a guy's long weekend at the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Every year we've gone up there, I've ripped his OBX sticker off of his car.
Is that right?
And he has no idea who's done it. And he always puts it back on. And next year, and every year, he thinks he's starting to, he never really looks at his car enough to notice that the sticker's gone. So he'll notice like 3 months down the road. So I think he thinks that someone in his neighborhood up in Washington, D.C. is doing it.
Okay.
But in fact, yeah.
He doesn't know when the crime is
follow-up
occurring.
question. Does he listen to this podcast?
Well, that's the thing. I may have just outed myself, but
That's okay.
we'll see.
Yeah. If you had the opportunity to take current Josh body and physique and go back and play an 8U sport for a day, what sport are you picking?
Baseball. It's not even close.
Really?
I still play baseball. So if I was able to hit taters off of an 8-year-old, which I can, I've done it at my son's baseball practice.
Okay.
I will put it over the fence today.
Yeah. This is the absolute right question. Okay. Because the 8-year-old is, if they put it anywhere in the strike zone, you're crushing that
Tattoo.
ball.
It is gone.
Yeah. And you especially want that play at the plate where you can just go right through that 8-year-old catcher.
Oh, just put him in the fence.
What I love is the idea of you at shortstop and you just zip one over the
Why
first
are you at
baseman.
shortstop? I'm pitching.
I'm pitching.
Oh,
I'm
that's right. You're throwing
gas.
the heat. You're bringing the gas down on this little. I was just imagining this first baseman going, "Oh shit! Here it comes."
It's going to be 27 backward Ks. I can't go to my kid's baseball game without spending 5 minutes thinking how I would have done something different if I was out there right now.
I would have crushed that kid.
Also, that car with the Yeti sticker would have a lacrosse sticker.
A lacrosse sticker?
Yeah, all those parents have kids that play lacrosse.
I think the only, and again, it's the one that I've used. I'm sure you guys have heard it before. I think that they are missing a chilling sippy cup that would actually come in handy for parents. So there would be no warm juices anymore in the back of a car on a ride. If you left it in there, it would still stay cool. And they should call it the "Are We There Yeti?"
Oh, you are on fire tonight. Yeah.
You realize you're giving away all these ideas.
No,
for
I mean,
free.
people. You're like the modern day Edison, just firing it
It's
out.
just I'm like that Michael Keaton character in Night Shift.
You're a visionary.
Just good ideas all the time.
Yeah,
What
just
if
get
we-
visionary.
what if we-
I can't
what if we
execute
feed-
on any of them,
what
but
if
I'm
we feed-
visionary.
What if we feed the tuna fish bread to make them into sandwiches?
There you go.
We had Johnny Bench on our podcast for
Nice.
Cincy shirts, and he is involved. Like, I don't know. It's probably dumb of me to think like he doesn't do anything except still walk around and just be Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
But he was telling us about all these different like companies that he's invested in, and one of them is a beer can that when you crack it, and there's like a reaction within the metal that chills the can.
Ooh.
So like you could have like a warm beer, crack it, and then within like a minute it's cold.
It makes a chemical reaction that
It's
makes
the
the
same-
can cold.
It's the same technology that's in the like the ice bags.
That's
Yeah,
something you invest in and get out of before the studies come out about the carcinogens in can technology.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
It's
wanna have that.
BPA free, but there's 11 other things to pronounce it.
Can I just point out, Josh, that you are our Johnny Bench? Like this
You absolutely are.
has been quite a treat to have you on the show.
Oh my God.
So if people are trying to find you out there on social media, where are they going to find you, or website? How do they track you down?
At Josh Sneed, just JOSHSNEED. That's what I am. There's not a lot of other Josh Sneeds that we're vying to be the first on social media.
What's for the Cincy shirts?
So Cincy Shirts is the local t-shirt company that has the Fiona merch, but I know you guys have a much bigger reach. So I will say oldschoolshirts.com is the one that you should check out as a listener.
Oh, because that's got everything.
It's got other
that's got
cities on there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
Will it have the hippo?
I can put the hippo on there just for you.
Okay.
So it's a one-stop shop. I tell young comics, like, have something else. You know? And not because there might be a global pandemic one day, but if you can make sure you keep comedy fun by not having to do it, it keeps comedy fun for a long time.
All right. We appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for being a guest with us this episode of the BHHcast. For Jamie, for myself, Jamie, and Adam.
Yes.
I'm curious, which one of us did you forget?
I was clarifying that. I was thinking, how do I normally say this? I got a brain freeze for just a moment on the way to. And
Right.
Well, what's today?
That's exactly right.
What day is today?
That's right.
Oh, Monday?
No, it was you.
Okay. All right. So for this episode of the podcast, special thanks to our guest, comedian Josh Sneed. For Jamie, and Adam, always appreciate you listening. Make sure you do subscribe and share the episode so your friends subscribe as well. We'll be back with new content before you know it.
See you next week.
Taka taka.
Fire's getting low. This episode of the podcast is over. Time to go home now, sheep. Go on. Back to where you came from. We'll call you back when it's time for another podcast. Taka taka.